What's going on, guys? Let me just send out a announcement. I'm live right now. Click the link above. What is going on, guys? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's check on the chat real quick. Let's see who is in the chat. Oh, actually, you know what? Here, let me do this. Let us do that. What's going on, Easton, Roberto, Michael, Stefan, or Steven, sorry, Michael Q, M. Monroy. What is the best platform for options outside the U.S.? Is IBKR good for options trading? Yes, that is the one that I think most options traders outside of the U.S. use, both because it's so versatile and the fees aren't as crazy as something like Quest Trade or any of these other nutty options platforms. Now, excuse me, just trying to down my coffee. But if you have access to Tastyworks in your jurisdiction, then try that first. But it's just not available for everybody, right? So, yeah. Let's see. Gavin, another AMC breakout maybe. Yes, we're going to be going over AMC. We're going to definitely be going over some of the stocks to buy right now, especially since today is a red day. But I love when the decoupling happens because surprisingly, we are hella green today. We being, members in the Discord community. If you took the options trades that we currently that we had recently opened, so back-to-back insane options trades here. I'll show them to you actually. We had the options trade on Kroger that netted us over 1,000%. This was up 1,500% at one point. Ended up closing that yesterday. It was this play right here. I can go over it if you guys want. If I get enough requests to go over it, then I definitely will go over it and show you the details of that play and how something like this can be so profitable, right? So there's the 1,500% Kroger play. And then Adobe, we just absolutely sniped because it hit almost exactly the point that we wanted to hit, which was the strikes of our calendar spread was at 565. And Adobe closed after hours yesterday at 565 and change. And it opened today at like 562, I think. So we ended up closing that for 454% profit, as you could see here. So just back-to-back plays. Obviously, we've had insane plays before in the past where we've netted, hundreds of percentage points or even thousands of percentage points. If for those of you that are old members can think back to the old AMD plays where, we were netting thousands of percentage points in 2020. However, having, one that was 1,500% and then a couple days later, one that was almost 500% profit, that is just amazing. And I love when everybody in the community eats. And then it makes, options plays like CLNE, which we are up 90% on today and will likely end up letting it expire for 100%. It makes that pale in comparison, right? Like we're talking about 100% options play pales in comparison, obviously, to 500 and 1,500%. So I love when that happens. We've had an insane run on earnings plays the last 4 weeks. If you go back, just go back and look at the plays that we've had. And by the way, for those of you that have no idea what I'm talking about, this is the private trading group that we have where we run all of the alerts off of the Discord. So if you want to be a part of that, there's a link in the description. Sign up. You definitely want to be a part of it. There are thousands of people here. In my view, it's a great value. But you can see how active the alerts are. Like these are alerts just over the last week. And we play earnings routinely because these binary events could be extremely profitable due to changes in implied volatility and whatnot. So, all right, let me get back to your questions and then I'll go over some of the, actually, you know what? Here, I know someone asked me about AMC. So let us go over that first. So as I was saying in my video yesterday, sorry, I'm like rotating between coffee, water. I mean, those are like the two essentials of life, right? But as I was saying yesterday in my video, it's so funny how people ridicule, not everyone, it's a small fringe for sure, but how they ridicule TA and fib levels. But every single roadblock that AMC has hit, right? Point of resistance. I won't say roadblock, but every single point of resistance it hit so far was at a major fib level, right? So currently we're sitting at the 3.272 fib around the $63 range. And as I was saying yesterday, we need to get an impressive amount of volume, both in the at the money calls or near the money calls for June 25th, which currently does not look impressive compared to June 18th, which was today's expiry. The number of calls that we got this week was unprecedented, right? And we need to replicate that in order for a gamma squeeze to happen. Remember what I said in my earlier videos. A gamma squeeze and a short squeeze are like apples and oranges, right? Now, one can feed the other, certainly. However, they are two separate things. A gamma squeeze is a component of options. In long story short, it is basically when you get a flooding of options around the money, right? So in the money, at the money, and then just a little bit above out of the money, which we'll call near the money. When you get a flooding of options around that level, then market makers will be forced to buy shares of AMC in order to stay delta neutral so that they aren't opening naked shorts, essentially, which is naked call options, right? Selling naked call options to the market. So that is a gamma squeeze. It's fueled by market makers needing to cover their asses and buying shares that in order to cover options that they sell around the money. Now, a short squeeze happens when, and we will look at short interest in a second, but a short squeeze happens when short interest is so high that, or abnormally high relative to the float of the stock, where the shorts are forced to close as the price climbs. So a gamma squeeze can definitely fuel a short squeeze, and they can go hand in hand. So we need either or to we need either an impressive amount of volume in the stock, whether driven by market makers trying to cover their call options or by people buying the stock in general, right? And we need that to happen in order to fuel both the gamma squeeze and the short squeeze. So anyway, my point is that the fib levels are super important. These numbers, Fibonacci numbers, are numbers that exist in nature, right? And what is more natural than the psychology of human beings, at least as it relates to trading? So what you're seeing here on the chart is a mapping of every single person who participates in the market, every single person's psychology, right? That is a natural thing. So where buyers are afraid, where buyers are exuberant, etc. And that's what the Fibonacci numbers try to represent. And currently, again, as I said, this 3.272, it is appearing to be an extremely stubborn Fibonacci number, going all the way back to June 2nd. We are now June 18th. This is $63. So we need to get, we need to get a consistent and impressive amount of volume in the 300 million range. Let us look at what the volume is currently. All right, so if you take a look at AMC, you will see that currently the volume, we just opened, obviously, the market just opened less than an hour ago. So you can see that the volume is at 64 million, And we need it, as I said, to be consistently above 300 million because that is what we've seen in the past. AMC volume, NASDAQ, historical. That is what we've seen in the past. That level of volume is what is needed to move the markets, right? So if you take a look at AMC's historical data, so yesterday's actually the 16th was the least impressive. We had 166 million, right? That's why we saw that drop in price. If you take a look at AMC, the 16th was actually a red day. This was when we went almost negative 7%. So there's definitely a correlation between volume and price. And you're seeing it here, especially at these levels. There are times, there are anomalies where price can move up without volume. But not on a momentum stock that is looking to break out, okay? A momentum stock that is looking to break out needs a healthy dose of volume in order to keep moving, or else you could just say, forget it to the whole operation. So if you take a look at the volume, yesterday was impressive. We crossed that 300 million mark, right? And that is why we broke out again. So yesterday was a 10% up day. And it was because of that 300 million mark that I'm talking about. So that to me seems like the magic number. Obviously, AMC's float is 500 million. And according to the CEO, 80% is owned by retail traders like us. So, and if you take a look, actually, I didn't even notice this, but the price on this NASDAQ chart, I didn't even notice that the price was right next to the volume. But you could see the correlation between volume and price. Every time that we dip in the hundreds, that is when we get a price drop, right? And then every time that we cross that 300 threshold, that is when we get a price increase. So we definitely want to see that continuing. Now, I will say that for opening, 65 million at the opening, that is not bad because we have, what, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. We have 6 hours, 5.5 hours of trading left, right? So and then we have obviously the after hours, but 65 million is not a bad start. So we'll see how the day goes. So let's keep an eye out on that. But if it breaks out, then my next level that I'm eyeing is the 4 fib level at $76. And I know that some people hate the conservative price targets, but man, this thing was trading below $9 just a few weeks ago. So to me, that is not conservative, right? Anyway, let me take some of your questions. I've rambled on and on about the AMC analysis this morning. All right, let's see. Did I miss any super chats? I know I'm bad at that, so I definitely don't want to. So I'm going back to check if I did. No, I didn't. Okay, good. Counting very very grateful says counting on his fingers. Yes, I am. That, you know, I mean, this is what this is for, right? This is what we call the black gold. There's a reason that it is, right? It helps me get my brain generating. So good morning, Z. Got calls expiring today at 40 strike. What are we talking about? Do you think we're going to hit 70 today? I assume you're talking about AMC. I just went over it. Like, I babble for 10 minutes. I don't know if you just joined, but rewind the tape. I just explained what needs to happen for us to hit that next threshold, that 4 fib level, right? How was GLD looking? Yes, GLD is on my list today. This is a stock. It's actually an ETF, but it is a stock to buy in my opinion. And I have calls on GLD, as I said. Could have taken profit yesterday. Didn't want to because of the technical setup, which I will go over. Hey, Z, do you have any jobs going? Yours truly, Kenny G. Do you have any jobs going? I have no idea what that means. And you said yours truly, Kenny G, but your name is Stuart Reed. Am I being trolled hard this morning? I don't know. Sometimes I have no idea what's going on, guys. I don't know. You know, and it's so funny because, like, I'll read something like this and the rest of you will get it, and I have no clue what the F is going on. So I don't know. Maybe some of you understand what this Stuart Reed guy is saying, but yeah, I don't know. Kenny G from Citadel. Oh, I see. Okay, I see. Jolene's always a boss, man. Jolene is one of the best degenerate traders in our community, man. Her trades are always on fire. All right, let's see. Thoughts on GRWG. All right, we don't do thoughts questions. You guys might be new to the stream. We don't do thoughts. That is like the laziest type of question. Thoughts, and then throw out a ticker symbol. I don't have any thoughts, I'll be honest. So ask a more specific question, and then maybe I'll answer it, right? Maybe you see something on GRWG's chart. Maybe you're looking at it for a long-term, short-term play, day trade, whatever. How am I supposed to know? Thoughts and prayers. Exactly. Any update on Wish? Kunal says. All right. Thank you for the super chat, Kunal. I will definitely answer your question because I don't want to ignore you. Yes. Wish, I still have a spread open. I think at the 10. I think it's the 10. The 7.5, 10 call spread open on Wish. So we need it to expire above 10. And yes, right now it looks like it's flagging, right? Or you can call this a pennant. It's a bullish pennant. But yeah, and it's holding support at around the $10 mark. Now, I did a fundamental analysis on Wish before, and I did say that even aside from it being mentioned on Reddit, there is definitely a case to hold Wish at around the $10 mark, right? I think all of the analyst price targets are in the 20s. So, and if you take a look at its financials, there's definitely a growth story there. And Wish is a stock that I think can easily double. I'm comfortable holding it at 10. Now, if I bought it at when it looked like it was finding support here, thank God it wasn't on my radar. But when it looked like it was finding support here, I wouldn't begrudge anybody for buying Wish at around the $17 mark, because it looked like we would see a double bottom bounce, right? Thank God it wasn't on my radar then. But at $10, yeah, I'm comfortable holding Wish there. And it looks like it is flagging here, but I don't know that it is part of the Reddit game anymore. So don't count on that. And obviously those stocks ebb and flow. Like, we've seen stocks that were mentioned on Reddit heavily for a month, and then they dropped off, and then they were mentioned again months later. So I'm not saying it can't be part of the Reddit trade, but even on its own, I think you can make a case for Wish here. That's for sure. That is for sure. Ammar says, I don't know. There's no question here. All right. Appreciate it. You definitely don't have to do that, but I appreciate you. All right. Let's see. Any apes in here? Yes, there are a few apes in here. We do have a room that is just for apes in the Discord. And they are always hounding me because of my conservative profit targets. Good morning. What's up, Tamir? What's going on, man? Please add me to the private trading group. I tried contacting. Hit me up on the Discord. Just message me. It's the easiest thing to do. Just message me on the Discord, right? Just send me a DM. What is the most undervalued blue chip? That's going to be hard to answer right off the bat, but there's quite a few. So I think that CRM is a sleepy stock, but I do think that if you're talking about for the long term, i.e. your retirement portfolio, then Salesforce has an impressive upside, right? We're talking about a stock that was trading at near 300 just a few months ago. So I think that CRM definitely has upside here. I think Apple was actually undervalued at the 200-day moving. I mean, this thing was trading at below 120, at around $115 not that long ago, and nobody wanted to buy it. But I was saying that, especially this year, we're expecting an announcement on the Apple Car, and I guarantee you whatever they announce is going to be the biggest announcement Apple's made since maybe, I don't know, the iPhone was a pretty big deal, so I don't want to say since the iPhone, maybe since the iPad, I don't know, or the AirPods. The iPhone is, that is a historical moment in time. That's a historical moment in our world's history, at least as it relates to tech, right, and business. But it is going to be revolutionary, whatever they announce with the Apple Car. And if it is something significant, because Apple on the backs of a car, you can easily see that stock inching towards the $3 trillion market cap mark. So at 115, I thought it was a steal, like an absolute steal, and it's currently trading at 131. But yeah, these blue chips, they're unfortunately, they're not going to wait for you. So Facebook was trading at the 200-day moving average just back in March, currently at above 330. Google, for a long time throughout the pandemic, I thought was an undervalued tech stock because it had not caught up to its brethren in the FANG or in the mega cap tech department, right? So Google was trading at 1,700 just a few months ago, currently trading at 2,500. So these things are not going to wait for you. It's not like there's always going to be an undervalued tech stock. No, sometimes they are at value, trading where they're supposed to trade. So it's going to be very hard as time moves on and the market continues to climb and the growth story continues to take shape. it's going to be very hard to find undervalued stocks, right? Undervalued stocks usually come on the heels of a crash or a retracement, but I don't want there to be this idea that you're always going to find an undervalued blue chip. No, you're not. There are times when they've just run up. Now, obviously, I've been running through tech stocks, and the reason I've been doing that is because they are the growth story. Mega cap tech is where the growth story is at. If we're talking about traditional growth stocks, right? I'm not talking about hyper growth stocks like, a Palantir or a Sunrun, for instance, or a 23andMe, right? But these are not blue chips. These are hopefuls. So anyway, let me get to your questions. Somebody, I think I missed one. Hold on. Oh, there it is. Okay. Netflix spread from Discord spiked 30% at 2:40 p.m. yesterday. Can you explain why? Yeah. I mean, this is due to implied volatility, right? Obviously, price and implied volatility. Oh, Netflix. There you go. So whoever was asking me yesterday about, and I mean, Netflix made it to one of my top stocks lists, but whoever was asking me about the undervalued blue chips, look at Netflix. Netflix is sitting at the bottom of this channel. I think Netflix definitely at the bottom of this channel that's been going on since last year, since June 2020. This is definitely a stock that you want to look at and the stock that you can add to your portfolio, right? So, and it is part of the FANG. It's the N in FANG. So look at Netflix. It spiked yesterday. Yeah, I mean, we did have a spike, right? Like, look. Yesterday was an up day for Netflix, and we crossed the 500 threshold, but we also had that wick here. So it was likely part of that. And then IV probably spiked a little bit as well, right? And that spread definitely takes advantage of Delta and takes advantage of Vega. So Delta is related to the stock price and Vega is related to the implied volatility. And when you get a rise in both, that is when you get these spikes. So yeah. But I do like that play. What he's talking about, by the way, we have a play on the Discord. It's the 490, 495 call spread on Netflix, which was to me a steal. Again, I love opening those types of spreads or even buying the stock itself when the stock is at support. This is support that we've been monitoring since June 2020. So it's a really easy play because one, it's cheap, and two, you can easily get out of it if Netflix breaks support and goes awry. It's a low risk, high reward play. So we need Netflix to finish above 495. It's currently trading at above 500 today. So yeah, that's why. So thank you for the question. Sotero. All right. Is it Coca-Cola stock time? So Coca-Cola, the funny thing about Coca-Cola is billions have been wiped off of its market cap in the span of a few minutes or a few seconds, I guess, because Cristiano Ronaldo at the press conference, there was a couple of bottles of Coke in front of him. Obviously, they were trying to, they try to promote Coke because I guess Coke was sponsoring the Euro Cup, which, by the way, is going on right now. So if you're watching it, more power to you. But there was a couple of bottles of Coke in front of him, and obviously Coke wanted that shot of Ronaldo posing in front of the bottles of Coke, and he's known to be a healthy guy, so he saw the bottles of Coke, and he just moved them to the side. But I could swear that, maybe I'm wrong. I was going to say I could swear that at one point in time he was sponsored by a soft drink. I know Messi is sponsored by Pepsi. I can't remember if at one point in time Ronaldo was sponsored by a soft drink, by Pepsi or by Coke. I can't remember. But anyway, he moved him off to the side, basically saying, don't drink Coke, drink water. And I think that was a couple of days ago, and that's when you see this drop here. So he wiped billions off of Coca-Cola's market cap just by that one move. No, I would not buy Coke here. So this is why reading the chart helps. Coke just fell below the 50-day moving average, and it looks like it does not want to stop, right? You see the MACD, it just turned bearish. The RSI is free falling. No, the momentum right now is against Coca-Cola, and you can definitely afford to wait on something like this. So just chill. He said drink water. Yeah, that's what he said. KFC? No, I don't think he was sponsored by KFC. Maybe, I don't know. Yes, Ronaldo sponsored by Coca-Cola. Yeah, he was sponsored by Coca-Cola. So I don't know, man. It was like maybe fake virtue signaling because maybe his contract with Coke ended and, they didn't pay him what he wanted. So he decided not to re-sign. So, he's got a grudge against Coke, but then he's playing it off as if he's trying to be healthy. Maybe that. I don't know. Roblox. Okay, let's talk about Roblox. And then we'll get into some of the other stocks because we talked about AMC. I said Netflix is definitely one that is undervalued. You want to keep that on your radar, or even, start dollar cost averaging into Netflix. And then, let's look at Roblox here. Yes. Okay. Perfect setup. So Roblox was definitely on my radar since a couple days ago it hit the 50-day moving average. So Roblox fell from 104 to $80. This, I think, is an overreaction. So I think the reason that Roblox fell is because there was a report came out that said that it had a decrease in subscribers. Obviously, the reopening happening, summertime is here, right? So kids are probably playing less, or their parents are forcing them to play less, even though I'm sure they really want to play Roblox. But there's a few reasons why it makes sense that a company like Roblox would see less subscribers during the reopening, during the summertime, especially because kids are going to be playing less, right? So, but it doesn't mean that it's worth zero, obviously. It's just it dropped 22%. So at a 22% drop at the 50-day moving average, which also represents this is called an SR flip, right? Or a support resistance flip. So this used to be resistance, this where it's at right now, the $80 range, right? It used to be resistance. It finally, when it created this double bottom, this double rounding bottom here, popped above and went to the $100 mark. It is now finding support where it used to find resistance. That is what you want to see. It's called support resistance flip. Now, what you don't want to see, which remains obvious to everybody, is you don't want it to drop below support, okay? So that is, I'm comfortable buying it here, but I still would set a stop limit below my entry. But I love Roblox here, and I would even entertain buying calls on Roblox. So I don't know what the IV is, what the calls are going for. Let's see. So Roblox current IV is the IV percentile. It's not giving me an IV percentile in Thinkorswim, but you could see the IV for each of the expirations is currently 56%. Now I have no idea whether this represents an increase or decrease relative to where it's at. Actually, there is one way that we could check. If we go to charts, let us go to maximize. Let us go to Roblox studies, load study set. Where is my study set? Okay. So if you look at its IV, which is in blue here. Yeah, you could see that the IV on Roblox is actually pretty low compared to where it was before, right? So its IV was in the 90s. It is currently in the 50s to 60s. So you do want to see this when you're entertaining buying call options because you want IV to be low. As I said, options, when you're buying them, they benefit from two things. They benefit from way more than two things, but we'll just talk about two things that they benefit from mainly, right? The delta, which is related to the stock price, and the IV or the Vega, which is related to IV or implied volatility. So if you're buying calls and you want to see a price rally, you want to see both a move in delta, meaning the stock price go up, as well as IV. Now, IV doesn't have to move. However, there is an adverse situation that you don't want to be in. So if Roblox's IV was super high, and after you bought the calls, Roblox's IV started dropping like a rock, even if the stock price goes up, you could still be losing money. You get this question all the time from newbie options traders. Man, my stock actually moved up in price, but why am I losing money? Well, it's because IV is dropping like a rock. So it's going against you, right? That is why you want to make sure that when you're buying call options, the IV is low, or even put options, the IV is low relative to where the stock usually trades at. And currently the IV it looks like it's subdued. So I don't mind buying calls here on Roblox. I don't mind it at all, actually. So the calls that I would buy, let's see. So if we're looking at the chart and we're wanting it to bounce, you can see that Roblox does make violent moves within a short amount of time. Now I do realize that it was, it hit the market not that long ago. And usually with IPOs and direct listings, you see a stock act extremely erratic in the beginning, and then it starts to taper and normalizes, right? But so far, Roblox right now is still acting like an erratic new IPO or new direct listing. So with that said, I want to space out my calls, I would say at least a month here. Give it some time to run, if it does run, right? Give it some time to pop for sure. And, I'm not going to be bag holding these. Like I would take profits. I would close or take profits. I would close either with a stop limit or, manually if the stock starts falling well below the 50-day moving average. Okay. So I'm not going to be bag holding this. Now, I don't mind bag holding the shares at a 22% discount or even averaging down, but not on the options. So you'll want to go out to I would say at least July 16th. Now, here's a secret with options that you may not know. The monthlies usually provide a lot more liquidity than the weeklies. So in Thinkorswim, at least, the weeklies are delineated. They're yellow, right? They're separated and they're highlighted in yellow. The monthlies are highlighted in white, which is very helpful visually. In Robinhood, it's not the same way. Either way, I think in Robinhood, there is a W on the weekly expirations. Either way, the monthlies usually provide a lot more liquidity, and with more liquidity, it means that the bid-ask spread is a lot narrower, right? That's how you get a wide bid-ask spread, is usually when there isn't a lot of volume or open interest on that option. So you can easily buy something like the $100 call on Roblox right now for around $1.20. It will give you 0.16 delta, which is not that impressive, but again, Roblox has been tanking, and delta is relative, meaning that the higher the stock price goes, the higher this delta goes. It's not static. The delta is actually dynamic. So the closer that Roblox gets to that $100 mark, right, the higher the delta will go, the more accelerated your profits will be from an increase in delta, from an increase in the stock price. So I would look at the 100. You can even, if you wanted to get really fancy, you can look at, I usually don't like to buy something that's so out of the money, but like I said, this setup does look really juicy here. But I would definitely buy, anywhere between the 90 or 100 going out to July 16th, that monthly, which you could see that those options are down today. So yeah, it's a pretty low risk call in my opinion, especially considering where the setup is, right? So yeah, and then you can abandon it if you are down 20 or 30%, set a threshold for yourself, and then you can abandon that trade. But I like calls on Roblox. As I said, Netflix is, to me, still, at the $500 mark. We do have a call spread on it, so I'm not looking to open more plays on Netflix, but you can also just buy the stock. Someone asked about GLD. As I said yesterday, after these gap downs, we usually tend to see a pop. You could see it on GLD's history. Every time there's a gap down, we usually tend to see a pop. Now, the reason that it gapped down is because, as I said yesterday, due to the inflation, the Fed meeting, the news on inflation, how the market is interpreting inflation, that inflation is transitory, meaning that commodities are an inflation hedge, right? Because commodities, they take advantage of inflated prices. So when inflation takes shape, commodities are priced higher, which means that if you are in commodities, whether it's lumber or oil or metals, if you're in commodities, that means that you are gaining from that inflated price, right? That inflated increase in price. So that is why commodities are usually an inflation hedge. Now, if the market is interpreting that inflation is really nothing to be worried about, and that they take Jay Powell at his word that inflation is actually temporary, that is why you're seeing a drop in commodities. However, as I said before, and I said yesterday, even if you go back to the May 19th Fed meeting, he said the same exact thing. But we saw a drop in commodities, but then a rally, a return back to inflated prices and commodities really quickly. And that is what I think we will see here. Now, I don't think that lumber per se, for instance, we'll get back to where it was. I mean, the the price hike that we saw in lumber was just insane, right? The lumber futures were was at like the $1,700 mark. It is currently at around $823. So I don't think we'll see a return back to inflated prices on a lot of these commodities, but it does not mean that commodities are just going to keep tanking forever and that they're going to forget the inflation story, right? The inflation story is something that's ongoing, and it's an ongoing battle. So GLD, I don't mind here at all on this drop. Now, doesn't mean that GLD is going to return back to the 190 range when gold was trading at over 1,900 an ounce. No, but it does mean that you could take advantage of this crash here, of this drop here, right? So I do like GLD here. Another stock that I talked about before that you guys were asking me about, undervalued blue chips, Okta, right? Okta, and I use this analogy all the time, but it's like the pretty model at the house party that's just sitting in the corner and you can't explain why nobody's talking to her, right? That's how Okta is. So Okta, again, at support going all the way back to October. You see this nice double bottom here. I called it out when it was bouncing off of the 300-day moving average. Currently has back-to-back green days, even in an ultra-red market. Oh, we have not looked at the market. We will look at the market. So 3% day today, 4% day yesterday, so 7% in 2 days. But yeah, I mean, it is volatile, but it is, in my view, undervalued for the long term. And I did a whole DD on Okta. So go and check that out. 23andMe, as I said yesterday, you want to wait for a retracement, right? It had a nice 22% move yesterday. And I called this out when it was $10.71 exactly. It was I think it was June 10th in the Discord that I called this out. And I said, hey, 23andMe, it's not just an ancestry company. Like this is going to be a genomics play because they hold more DNA data than almost any company on earth. I think the most, but don't quote me on that. It is up there though. And they're looking to enter the genetics testing and research industry, obviously with all the DNA data that they have. That is actually one of the waivers that I think that you sign when you're trying to check your ancestry. So yeah, in a nice 22% day yesterday. We were up 26% overall, but I did say yesterday, don't enter this on FOMO. Wait for a retracement. And it is down 8% today. It is down 8% today. So you can start the dollar cost average on 8% down. I do think that this is a good point to dollar cost average. We could go below $12 at the 1180 range, which would represent, again, that support resistance flip. But yeah, you definitely want to look at 23andMe, in my opinion, which used to be VGAC, by the way. Another one that I'm looking at is FCX, wanting to see if FCX can find support here. This is a major mining play that has been an absolute stalwart in 2020 and again in 2021. Again, this drop was due to a drop in commodities in general, but I want to see if FCX can find support here, and for sure FCX will be a buy. I talked about US Steel. US Steel, again, dropping the same narrative. Any of these commodity stocks, right? Any of these commodity stocks, whether we're talking about oil, metal, crude oil right now is trading. Oops, I don't know what the hell I just did. All right, crude oil futures currently seeing some support here, right? Seeing some support here. There is some geopolitical news surrounding this, right? Whether the Saudis are going to increase production, whether they're going to taper production, who knows? But it is holding tight here at around the $71 a barrel range. So, all right, let me get to your questions. Did I miss? Fuck, I think I missed one. Hold on. All right, Ivo. Corsair, would you rather buy their gear or their stock? Would I rather buy their gear or their stock? I mean, dude, if you need some gaming equipment at home, like just get some gaming equipment and then also buy the stock. But it's not like it's a commodity, right? I don't know if you were being funny there, but Corsair was a part of that, that Reddit trade for sure. But I don't mind buying it at long time support here. So it did find a lot of support in the $30 range. It is volatile though, but there is a case to hold Corsair aside from the Reddit trade. But yes, I mean, I like both the products, and I think there is a case for the stock, but it is not for the faint of heart, for sure. I mean, look at this. It looks like a heart rate monitor, right? So, yeah. All right, let me go back to the chat, answer some more of your questions. Let's see. What was the will you be going over Sunrun? All right, Yvette says, thank you, Yvette. Yes, let's go over Sunrun. So Sunrun, as I mentioned yesterday, received a price target upgrade from Morgan Stanley of $91, which represents a 77% upside from where it is today. And this 2-day volume here, this is the best 2-day volume that Sunrun has ever seen, right? Yesterday and the day before. And currently we are seeing Sunrun just kind of stabilize. It's been a rather flat day. I don't mind buying it here at all, especially since this represents, an over 60% drop from highs. And there is a growth story for Sunrun, as I mentioned yesterday. The price, one of the analysts at Morgan Stanley that was looking at it said that the price that it currently represents is assuming that Sunrun is going out of business within the next 6 years and accumulating no customers. And that is definitely not the narrative. So in his view, that is part of the reason why Sunrun is a undervalued growth stock at the moment, because it is growing, right? We went over some of the numbers yesterday, and based on that growth, there's no justification based on the valuation model that he was using. There's no justification for Sunrun being at the $50 range. However, as I said yesterday, do not bag hold this. You don't want this to turn into another Fubo or GNOG or whatever the growth story was in 2020, right? There is a clear support here. It is around just below the $40 range. I don't mind entering Sunrun, but be wary of this, right? Be aware of this. You don't want to bag hold Sunrun if it breaches that $40 range and starts dropping and wants to retest this level and fill this gap here that's, $22. You don't want to be bag holding this. So I like Sunrun. Don't oversize. It's not something to keep, more than 5% of your portfolio, and distribution is everything. So yeah, there's a case for it in the growth, in the hyper growth sector of your portfolio, where you're holding your cannabis stocks, where you're holding your solar stocks, right? Maybe some of your EV plays or charging plays, but you don't want to bag hold this, and you don't want to make it 50% of your portfolio. So keep that in mind. Thank you for the question though, Yvette. I appreciate you. Natalie Z, just want to let you know you're Natalie, I appreciate you. That is definitely not the case, but I appreciate you. What about Sunrun calls? No, I don't. Tamir says, I really don't like it. I don't know. I don't like it. Look at a call spread, Tamir. Look at a call spread. I don't like naked calls on Sunrun. I honestly don't. Like, just something about the chart doesn't give me the gumption to want to buy calls. It's not like, what was the stock? Oh my God, my memory's fading. What was the stock that I was just talking about? Roblox. I mean, this right here is a perfect setup, my man, right? Like, you want to see a setup like this. Finding support resistance flip. You could wait, if you were a really conservative trader, you could wait for the MACD to start turning positive, right? Or the RSI to start curling upwards. But Sunrun is not it for me, man. Like, I don't like buying calls here. I don't begrudge you if there's, a reason that you want to buy calls, but it's not a play for me. Look at a call spread though, or maybe selling a put spread. I don't know what Sunrun's, what its IV is, right? So yeah. What is your play with Sesson? Genevieve asks. Thank you for the question, Genevieve. Well, Sesson is one of the only penny stocks that I currently have. And, we bought it in the $1 range, $1 and change. Currently hit above $4, $4.40 right now. It looks, every time it looks like it wants to retrace, and I'm like, oh man, the MACD, the RSI looks overbought, right? It started getting overbought at the $3.40 range, a whole dollar below where it is today. Every time I see that, I'm like, man, I want to offload this. And because, it will see a retracement, and then we will hear about the FDA approval, which, by the way, the deadline date is August 18th for FDA approval. We will hear about this. And then, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, we will see a retracement and then, a potential rally if we do get that FDA approval. And I wholeheartedly expect FDA approval. Like I said, there was a lesser drug that I can't remember the name of right now that is in the same market as Sesson, had worse results and was basically approved, right? So Sesson is now in their trials reporting superior results to that. What is it called? Not ActiveU. Somebody put it in the chat. I know someone knows because they mentioned it last time. But there is a drug that had worse results and was approved. So I do expect, and Sesson was approved for what they call, God, I'm forgetting the proper name, but basically emergency FDA approval, right? Fast track, basically. So we will see a retracement and then another rally if and when it does get approved. But it's a very tough proposition to say, oh yeah, you know what, it's going to retrace now, I'm going to sell. Every time I thought that and I came this close to taking profits and then re-entering, it just continues up. So I think personally that it's too late. In my view, it's too late. You missed most of the move. We're up over 100% on it. So you definitely want to wait for that retracement. But we could see a support resistance flip, meaning you could see Sesson come back down here to that 340 range and try to use that as support. So we'll see. But if you're not in it, I think it is too late, in my opinion. That ship has sailed, right? So hopefully that answers your question. All right. Let's see. CHPT, as I said in my, what video was it? It was the video where I was talking about the infrastructure bill, right? And I also I also mentioned it in the live stream. Go back and watch those videos where I talk about the infrastructure bill, as well as the live stream where we talk about the infrastructure bill. I said CHPT is going to be one of the main beneficiaries of that because they're spending, I can't remember the exact figure. Was it 200 bill? It was somewhere between 200 bill and 500 bill just on EV infrastructure, right? Basically meaning setting up these commercial EV chargers and governmental and government property EV chargers, right? And ChargePoint was going to be the main beneficiary of that, most likely because it is the leader. Even here in the building that I live in, there's a whole bunch of ChargePoint chargers downstairs. Now, I don't have an EV because I'm a dumb meathead, and I still drive a gasoline sports car. But if and when I do get an EV, there's a charger for me waiting downstairs. But I was saying that ChargePoint is going to be a main benefactor of that, right? But now I think it's too late. I think you missed the move off the 300-day when I pointed it out. Actually, no, sorry. I don't want to be unfair. I didn't point it out off the 300-day. I pointed it out when it was breaking out of the wedge, okay? So I didn't catch it that early. But when I did point it out in that video, I said, hey, if it breaks out, you definitely want to be a buyer in ChargePoint. If it doesn't break out and it goes back to retest that support level, then you'll have an opportunity to buy it at support. But I do think that it's going to be a very tough sell trying to buy it here at the overbought levels, especially when it is at a major resistance level, man. It's going to be a tough one. Like, I personally don't buy things like this. If I miss the boat, I missed the boat. There's a million other stocks I can trade, okay? And you can always revisit this. But yeah, I think I personally wouldn't buy it here. But when I did call it out, it was optimal for sure. All right. I like Roblox chart better too. Yes. Yeah. But I hear y'all look at the spreads. Yeah. I mean, Tamir, you're in the Discord group, man. Yes. We trade spreads all the time. That's how we got almost 500% on what was it? What did we close this morning? God damn, man. My brain is glitching this morning. Adobe. Yeah. And 1,500 on Kroger. All right. Regine says, what is a good price to get into for CHPT? Oh, yeah. I just talked about it. All right. Sense or Sesson? I just talked about Sesson. I think you missed the boat on it. So DocuSign was another one that I looked at as being undervalued in one of my previous videos. So were you referring to BIAB when you spoke about Sessin? No, there's a drug. BIAB is an Alzheimer's drug, right? No, I was talking about a drug that is it's in the oncology department, right? I can't remember what it's called right now. But wait, what did I just miss? Somebody was asking me. Oh, DocuSign, yeah. So DocuSign was another one that I said was a buy off of support, right? And off of the 300-day moving average. And now DocuSign took off. And I'm glad I actually own quite a bit of DocuSign. But from the 300-day, it is up almost 40%. And when you see these patterns on my charts, it's because I drew them a long time ago, right? These patterns are valid. So for those of you, and it's not a lot of you that are watching this, but for those of you that ridicule TA, it's right here, man. TA is as real as anything in nature, right? So it doesn't mean you're going to be right 100% of the time, but if you don't have a guide, what else are you going by, right? If you don't have a guide or, a way to, it's just like, if you're going hiking and you're following a trail, right? It doesn't mean that you're not going to get clobbered by a mountain lion. Maybe that's a bad example for those of you that are hikers, or it doesn't mean that you're not going to slip and fall, but you still got to follow the trail if you want to know where the hell to hike to, right? Same thing, man. Use TA as your guide. It doesn't mean that you're not going to get burned once in a blue moon, but if you're not using TA, if you're not staying on the trail, what else are you going to use, right? You might as well just throw everything away and just say, you know what? I'm going to get on my phone and I'm just going to arbitrarily buy and sell whenever I feel like it, which I know people that trade like that, right? Like they open up Robinhood and they're like, I think I want to buy DocuSign or Roblox. And they have no idea what the price represents and they just buy it. And then they're like, oh shit, man, I bought it and it's down. Or I bought it and I got lucky and it's up, right? You definitely don't want to be that type of trader. So anyway, I got to learn spreads. Yes, you do. Definitely, you got to learn spreads. CLNE. Yes, we're up. We're going to hopefully end the day with 100% on our CLNE spread. For sure. All right. Germany's playing tomorrow. I'm in the stream, Z. Oh, really? I thought Germany's playing tomorrow, not today. Okay, cool. Yeah. I thought, because someone had said that they were playing today, but I was like, I don't know if they're playing today. I sent you a couple of DMs on the Discord to add me. Okay, I will. I'll check it after this. I don't want to open up my inbox. There's some pretty weird shit in there. I definitely don't want to open up my inbox. Oh, here's a good time while I have you guys. So I'm terrible at social media, right? I might be decent at the YouTube game, terrible at social media. So here's my proposition to you. I'm trying to up, and a lot of you guys asked me to post like videos of my travels and whatever. I don't want to I don't want to dilute the channel. I want to keep it for trading, the YouTube channel. Now, in the future, I might open a new channel where, I either showcase my travels or daily vlogs or whatever people do nowadays, whatever the kids do nowadays. I might do that. For sure, it will be on a second channel. I'm not doing it on this channel. But I also post quite a bit of stories, even though I'm bad with posting images. I post quite a bit of stories on YouTube stories and on my Instagram stories. So you definitely want to follow me on Instagram. That link is also in the description. So make sure you follow me. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm trying to get my Instagram count to 10K at least. And I'm trying to get my Twitter count to 10K. Now, if you don't use Instagram and you don't use Twitter, don't just follow me, right? If you use those things, follow me, definitely. And motivate me to keep posting more content because I like doing it when I do it. My mind is so absent because I'm trading most of the day. So it just slips my mind, and by the end of the day, I'm like, shit, I didn't post anything on Twitter. I didn't post anything on IG. So definitely follow me on IG. Definitely follow me on Twitter. Now here is what I'm going to do. So if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I bought gold bars, these 1 ounce gold bars. I bought as many as I could buy, as many as I could legally bring into the country, which is $10,000 worth, not 10,000 gold bars. But I bought these 1 ounce gold bars. I bought them in Dubai a few months ago. And I'm going to be doing a giveaway, right? Like I bought them just for the video. they're good to have. I gave some away as a gift, but I have, if you left, if I get 10,000, when I hit 10,000 followers on Instagram, I'll be doing a giveaway, right? I'll just be picking someone at random from Instagram and I'll be giving away a gold bar. Same thing with Twitter. If I hit the 10,000 follower mark on Twitter, I'll be giving away another gold bar, right? So 2 gold bars. Lean says, post your bikini on IG. I mean, you know what? It is kind of cringe. I do have quite a bit of shirtless photos. It is cringe though. It is cringe. I don't know. I don't like it. Linda says, all you have to do is keep posting half naked photos. I'm even bad at that, Linda. I'm even bad at that. But yes, if I do get to 10K followers on IG, I'll give away a gold bar to a random person, to a random one of you guys. And if I get to 10K followers on Twitter, I'll give away a random gold bar. Now, I will obviously have to announce these all, on those platforms. Again, I'm so bad at social media that I just mention it here occasionally, but yeah. And I will be motivate me to post more because I do want to get more active on social media. Philip Leroy says, Pilip. Sorry, I don't know. I've never heard that name. That's very unique. What are the plans in Dubai? All right. So I'm creating a custom group on, I actually don't know if I could do that, but if I can't do that, I'll be reaching out to the individuals who reached out to me. So there's over 20 of you that are either going to be in Dubai, live in Dubai, or lie to me and tell me that you're going to be in Dubai, which is crazy because, right? I mean, we do have followers from all around the world, and that's part of the reason why I love our community. It's just a very multicultural, multifaceted group. But I didn't think that many of you were going to be in Dubai at the time. So I'm leaving on Saturday, which is tomorrow. Fuck, I got to pack, dog. I'm leaving tomorrow, and I'll be doing a meetup there, right? I'll be taking you guys out. I'll take you, dinner and drinks on me. There's actually a spot that I have in mind. It's one of my favorite steakhouses there. It's a South African steakhouse. For those of you that live there, know exactly what spot I'm talking about. It is amazing, especially if you like steak and wine, okay? So I'll be taking you guys out. But either I'll create a group on Discord, which I don't know if I could do that yet. If I can, I'll be creating a group of those of you that hit me up. If not, I'll hit you guys up individually. Or maybe we'll create a WhatsApp group. Who knows? And I'll shoot you the details, okay? But one of the nights, I'll take you guys out for dinner or drinks. And hopefully I can get reservations that big at this South African steakhouse. Right. And again, those of you who live there know exactly what I'm talking about. They know exactly which one I'm talking about. Lewis says, you are a nice man. I mean, I'm glad you think so, but you don't know me. No, I'm kidding. Don't forget to hit the like button. Yes, hit the like button. Man, again, something I'm so bad about. Can we talk about Sunrun today? Yvette, when you asked me, I went over it. I went over Sunrun. Did you not see that? Grab your phone and post right now. I don't know if I have a picture that's worthy enough of posting, but I do have stories. So if you guys want to see me play basketball, there's actually a story of me just practicing jump shots. There you go. All right. What did Sotero say? Everyone, let's not ask Z questions until Z posts on Instagram and Twitter about gold bars so he doesn't forget. Do it. Dude is going to get arrested in Dubai if he goes around in a bikini. Dude, I'm not going around in a bikini. All right. But yes, Kevin M., you're losing me. What does that mean? I have no idea what you mean. Shirtless photos. Hell yeah. Guys. All right. That jumper was looking good on IG. Thank you, Daryl. Thank you. I'm old, but I try to get it up there, man. I still try to jump. I'm not one of these guys that, the older you get, the more stationary your feet get, and then you start shooting. Like you go to the park and you see the old man game. They can shoot lights out, but their feet never leave the ground. I don't want to turn into that guy, man. Like I dread, and I will one day, but I'm trying to prolong that, right? I'm trying to keep the knees healthy. So how much does a gold bar cost? A 1 ounce gold bar right now is, we can look this up on TradingView and I will show you. A 1 ounce gold bar right now, actually that's not right. Sorry, those are the gold futures. Where do I get the, how do you find the gold spot? Gold spot. But I believe it's $1,700. Oh, right here. Okay. Yeah, 1777. So it's $1,777 an ounce. That's where we're at currently. For those of you that are wondering how much a 1 ounce gold bar costs. All right. Roku up 4.5%. Let's see, because Roku tends to trade in momentum. Let's look at Roku. So we went over Netflix, Roblox, Okta, GLD, went over Sunrun, went over 23andMe. So for those of you that are just joining the stream, rewind and go back and look at that. So, oh damn, I like Roku's chart here. As I said, Roku tends to trade in momentum, especially bouncing off of the moving averages. Now it did kind of start consolidating here, but it is creating this double bottom here. And part of the reason, obviously, is because, this is seen as sort of a stay-at-home play, right? But if something retraces far enough, kind of like DocuSign or Zoom, then there is justification for getting in, right? And Roku was down 41%, dude, from highs. So, I do think there is going to be an entry point for Roku, and you can actually enter Roku right now. I mean, you see the MACD turning bullish. I would want to see a close above the 100-day moving average, a significant close. So I might wait for the next day's candle. But yeah, I mean, you definitely want to validate that it can close above the moving average before getting in. But I don't mind Roku here, especially at such a major discount after a drop. But Zoom, this was another one that I said, you want to get into off of support. And again, when I pull up these charts and you see these patterns, this is not magic. This is something that I drew before. So for those that say that TA doesn't work, you're nuts. You're nuts. Of course it does. Look at this perfect descending channel here that Zoom broke out of, right? I didn't draw this just now. It was drawn a long time ago, and it adhered to it, basically. So yeah, Zoom, I don't know, can get well past the $400 mark. Like, I think it will keep bouncing between that 300 and 400 mark. But yeah, you can make a case for holding it long term as well. All right. I'm assuming most of your viewers are dudes. Yes, but you know what? I've looked at because I monitor the YouTube metrics like a hawk. For finance channels, this finance channel actually has a higher female contingency than most other finance channels, because I've looked at this. I've looked at the metrics. So, and which I'm very proud of. So most finance channels hover between the 5 to 10% range for female viewership, which, sucks. But this channel, we average between 15 and 20% female viewership, which I'm very proud of. And if again, if you're in the Discord, you already know that a lot of the female traders are the ones that actually put out the boss degenerate alerts, right? So this correlation that, you hear anthropologists talk about all the time, or pseudoscientists talk about all the time, where they say that, females are less risk takers. Well, I invite any of those clowns to hop on the Discord and look at the degen section, right? Like, we've got some killers in there. We definitely do. All right. Making money is multicultural. Yes, it is. It is. That's why we don't talk politics in there, man. Like, I tell people all the time, keep your politics to yourself. I don't care. I don't care what your views are on Biden or Trump or who. Like, I just don't give a shit. By the way, those people don't give a shit about you either, right? Just pay attention to your pockets. Make sure the decisions you're making is, they're good for you and your family and the people around you. Just leave the politics at the door. That's why the Discord works. Andrea says, I wonder why. Oh, you're talking about the female contingency? I don't know, man. Regine says, I wonder why too. Lewis says, that is a fantastic metric. Yes, it is. I'm very proud of that for sure. All right. Z, Riot, sell a put. It's a good entry. Well, it tracks Bitcoin's price directly, right? Look at Mara, look at Riot. Now, if you look at those stocks from a fundamental standpoint, right? Like, if you're not tracking Bitcoin's price and you look at their profitability and their growth, they're actually solid stocks. But unfortunately, they track Bitcoin's price way too closely, which means that they are going to be as volatile as Bitcoin is. Now, I say unfortunately in the short term, I'm a big believer in Bitcoin's long-term prospects and its super cycles, right? But Mara and Riot are always going to follow Bitcoin's price. So take that for what you will. You know, and if you don't mind the volatility, then yeah, you know, certainly trade it. Would I sell a put here? Not really. Not really. You could have made a case at the 200-day moving average, but I wouldn't sell a put here on Mara or Riot. Plus, you want to check what their implied volatility is, right? Like what is Riot's implied volatility? You generally want to sell a put when IV is high. Currently, its IV is in the 12th percentile. Not really a prospect here, right? So yeah, wait for it to drop, and or wait for IV to spike. In terms of the market, which we have not gone over yet, man. We have not gone over yet. So let us look at the market. The SPX is down 1%. Dow Jones down 1.5%. NASDAQ is down almost 0.6%. You know, the VIX spiked up 11% today. We did have VIX calls, bought them a week too soon for a hedge. So we had VIX calls that ended up losing last week, but I don't really look at hedges as a loss or a gain. They're just that. They are hedges and they're sized accordingly. But we certainly could have opened up another VIX hedge this week, especially knowing that the Fed meeting was this week. And we are seeing a delayed reaction, by the way. The markets were ripping yesterday. And everyone's like, oh, man, you know, the market digested the Fed meeting and the inflation data really well, on the jobless claims really well. But a lot of times you do see a delayed reaction. However, as I said, June is going to continue to be a choppy month until we get to that July, you know, the usual activity that we see in July, which is exuberance. And July tends to be a really good month for trading. So, yeah. But which is why right now you definitely want to take advantage of any of the overreactions that we see. Can you TA Alibaba or Tesla? Baller says. Yeah, let's do this. So let us look at see, this is how fried my brain is. The guy said, the poor man said, can you TA Alibaba or Tesla? What do I put as a symbol search? I put TA. Some days you don't even have to look at the calendar to know that it's Friday, right? It's definitely Friday. And I definitely didn't have enough black gold today. All right. So Tesla looks so interesting to me because when was the last time that you saw Tesla trade in this tight range? Like, it is the tightest that it's ever been. Okay. Look at this. I'm pretty sure if you pull up a Bollinger Band on this, you'll see how tight this range is. And as a matter of fact, we can do that exercise now, but I do want to hide some of this stuff because it tends to get very messy when you open up too many things. But if you pull up the Bollinger Bands, look at this. All right. So Tesla is starting to squeeze here. And this is what you want to see before a major breakout. Now, it did do a very similar pattern back in September 2020, right, where it squeezed. Obviously, the market is waiting on any news, good or bad, on any major unexpected news, good or bad, for Tesla to pop, okay? And you can see that is denoted here by the Bollinger Bands. Now, if you've always wanted to own Tesla, you almost cannot justify not buying it here, right? It is at major support. It is squeezing like no tomorrow. And we will, by the way, with these squeezes, we tend to see a pop to the upside, okay? Even if it breaks to the downside, the squeeze to the downside, unless, you know, God forbid, like Elon Musk dies or we see something similar to what we saw back here with COVID, right? Something that's completely out of the ordinary. You generally don't see a tanking like this to the downside. Yes, it could break to the downside, but generally with these momentum stocks that I guess you can consider Tesla a blue chip stock now that it's part of the S&P, right? You generally don't see a tanking like that unless something unextraordinary happens. So yes, Tesla could drop. We could retest the 500 mark, right? But if it's going to pop violently in either direction, I would almost always bank on it on a stock like this popping to the upside if it does pop, right? So if you did want to own Tesla, it's almost hard to justify not buying it here. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean that you should oversize your position if you already own it, but I'm just telling you what the setup looks like. Other than that, I mean, Tesla's just sitting at support. It is waiting. This is a wait and see moment, which could be scary, because it could be subject. If there is something, again, unexpected on the bad side of the news, we could see Tesla start to drop. But again, I think if it's going to move violently in either direction, there is a higher chance that it moves violently to the upside. And if it does move to the downside, it will likely be a gradual drop from here, right? What was the other one you said? Baba. Okay. Now, Alibaba, I've been so turned off by. And it's really all because of the poor narrative surrounding Jack Ma. So ever since the Chinese government basically disappeared Jack Ma, luckily, it seems like he's okay, but he's definitely in hiding. Or at least, they told him, don't ever appear on camera ever again, unless it's this one time to say that you're okay, which looked like a hostage video, by the way. I don't mean to laugh at the guy, but, these things they're so insane that sometimes they're funny, right? I've been pretty turned off by Alibaba ever since then. And then the fact that the Chinese government, if they disagree with you, can easily take ownership of your business and control it in the way that they want. So Ant Shares, which was supposed to be the fintech spinoff off of Alibaba, right? That was part of the reason that Alibaba was valued so high, was because they had this fintech component. The Chinese government basically said, you know what? You made a comment about Chinese banks being run like pawn shops. Well, guess what? You're trying to revolutionize the financial sector with this fintech branch off that you have. We're going to take this fintech sector that you have, and we're going to turn it into a traditional bank, and you can't do shit about it, right? Ever since that happened, I've been really turned off with Alibaba. Now, obviously it's still, a multi-billion-dollar mega cap in China, but we saw it try to find support here, then it kept breaking down. Now it's trying to find support here. Obviously, you can buy it, you could dollar cost average into it, but that's a very hard narrative for me to invest in. It will, I have no doubt it will be higher than it is today, so take that for what you will. But yeah, if you're going to invest in Chinese stocks, that's a tough one for me. Look at KWeb, right, which is a China internet ETF that does include Alibaba in there, but as well as some of the other powerhouses. I like it here at support. Ticker symbol is KWEB. This is actually an undervalued reopening play, in my opinion. And then Baidu, right? Baidu was once trading at 300, currently in the 183 mark, just like Tesla, being squeezed here, right, in this very tight range. No volume, but once it comes back, yeah, I like Baidu here. So look at Baidu, look at KWeb as alternatives to Baba. In my opinion, do what you want. So our Wish spreads are up 20% today. Yes, they are. We have the 10-11 spreads on, we have the 10-7.5 spreads on Wish, the 10-11 spreads on CLNE. Maybe he go with Jeff Bezos into space. I don't even think he's allowed in space, Monica. I don't. Honestly. Can you do an analysis for BA? Regine says. Yes, anything for you. Regine is one of the most loyal watchers and commenters, for sure. Almost every video I see her on there. All right, so BA, there's definitely a buy point here on the retracement for BA, right? And BA is a major reopening play. I looked at a CNBC segment, which I'm not going to try to find right now and waste your time, but if you Google CNBC Boeing from yesterday's segment or YouTube it, you might be able to find the video. But they were talking about how many Boeing orders are in line, right? Are in the backlog, just waiting for the reopening. So I do think that there's definitely a case for BA here, especially on the retracement. Excuse me. All right. Oh, God. Rough morning. All right. So there's definitely a case for BA here on the retracement, especially at the 100-day moving average, okay? And as I said, from a fundamental standpoint, this is going to be a major reopening play. Not only is it a defense contractor, but obviously, you know, anytime that you hop on a plane, whether internationally or domestically, most likely you're hopping on a Boeing plane, or the plane has a Boeing component on it. So from a technical standpoint, yes. I mean, this trend line has been alive and well since November 2020. And it is definitely respecting it. And that trend line now coincides with the 100-day moving average. So I definitely like BA on the retracement here. I might actually buy calls on BA as well. Let's look at BA's implied volatility, y'all. So BA's implied volatility right now is, oh man, you want to see this. 6%. 6% is the percentile, meaning that BA's implied volatility has been higher 94% of the time, okay? This is the type of setup you want when you buy calls. So we got calls on... we got calls on... Sorry, I just got a funny message. We got calls on Roblox. By the way, like a few of my close friends watch these live streams and then they start clowning me and trying to throw me off my game by sending me texts during. Hilarious. Anyway, Roblox, again, a candidate for calls. Look at BA, another candidate for calls. I mean, dude, 6th percentile. These are the types of setups you want. You don't want to buy calls when something is rallying already, right? Like somebody was asking me yesterday if they can buy calls on 23andMe. Like, I'm like, are you crazy? This thing is up 22% today. No, you don't want to buy calls on that. But yeah, something like this, or like Roblox, right? Where you are at support here. And damn, I missed a little tiny move on Roblox. See, I'm losing money doing these live streams for you guys. I'm just kidding. But yeah, where you find these stocks as support and the IV is low, that's a 1-2 punch, right? You want to take that combination all the time, especially if you want to play calls. Now, you could play a call spread, but I would go out, let's see, with BA, if we're banking on, we want to take advantage of not only the fact that it's victim to the June choppiness right now, but potentially a July exuberance. You might look at the July 30th, which is 42 days out, right? You might look at the July 30th calls. I know those aren't the monthlies, but let's see if we have any significant amount of volume here. I mean, the volume is not great on these weeklies here. Let's look at the July 16th monthlies. I bet you the volume is better. Yeah, see, this is what I was talking about. The monthlies always have more liquidity, which means that the bid-ask spread is a lot tighter than they are in the weeklies. And BA's bid-ask spread on the weeklies is not great at all. You know, and you don't want to be a victim to the difference between the bid and the ask. Like if you buy at the bid and you sell at the ask, or sorry, if you buy at the ask and you sell at the bid, you're losing money, right? You don't want to be that different. You don't want that difference to be so wide that, you know, if you buy at the ask and sell at the bid, that your loss is automatic, right? So not only automatic, but automatic and significant, right? So you definitely want to look at the monthlies in this case. So either go for the July 16th, or if you have the budget for it, go to the August 20th even, right? The August 20th monthlies. But if we take a look at the July 16th calls, you can go to like the 260 calls are actually not bad. They're trading at around 210, right? Have about 8,800 in open interest. You could see that 1,100 calls have been opened just in this short time frame that we've had since the market opened. Yeah, I don't mind this one here. I don't mind the 260 calls on BA. So that's what I'll be looking at. Either the 255 calls on BA, which is a 0.24 delta, or the 260 calls on BA, which is a 0.18 delta. I don't mind either of those, right? Both of these, all three of these really, 250, 255, 260 have a healthy amount of volume. The 250s are the one that have the highest open interest out of that range at 10,000. These are things that you want to start going through, right? And you're going to be buying these for about $4 a piece. So I don't mind this. Another thing you could do is trade a spread, right? So if you wanted to lower your cost basis and not be a victim of theta decay, you could buy, if you bought the 250, 255 call spread. Okay, I might like this play a lot better. So if you bought the 250, 255 call spread on BA expiring July 16th, which is 28 days, almost a month from today, You could buy that spread for $1.11 right now, okay? Now, what would need to happen here? All that would need to happen is BA would need to finish above 255 in order for you to get more than 100% profits. Why do I say more than 100%? Well, this is a $5 spread, okay? So you have 250, 255. That's the width of your spread. That's a $5 spread, max value. So it will retain max value if BA is above 255 by July 16th, right? You paid $1.10 for it, let's just say. So if you paid $1.10 for it and it's now worth $5, then your max profit is $3.90, which is way more than, it's more than 200% what you paid for it, okay? So you could do something like that. If you really wanted to, if you wanted to play it a little safer, you could open the 245, 250 call spread on BA, pay a little more. Actually, it's not that much more. I like the 245. I like the 245, 250 more. Let's check the 240, 245 even. All right, that's not even $2. Scratch everything I just said. So the 240, 245 to me is a better play. You're going to be paying just under $2 for this, right? $1.98. And if BA finishes above 245 by July 16th, then your max profit is going to be $3.02. Okay? So yeah, you're going to be gaining, let's see. Calculator, let's just say that you gain $3.02 divided what you paid for it, $1.98. Yeah, so you're going to be making 52% on this play, okay? Yeah, I really like this play, man. I really like this play. So buy the 240, sell the 245 for $1.98, expiring July 16th. This is called a vertical call debit spread. Your max profit is going to be $3.02. Actually, wait, I might have messed up on that calculation. Sorry, that is just relative to your profit. If the thing is $5 now, yes, scratch what I just said. God, it's such a long morning. If the thing is $5 now and you paid $1, it just changed to $1.95. So you're making 156%. Scratch what I just said. Yes, it's well over 100%. You're making 156% even with the 240, 245 call spread, okay? So 240, buy the 240, sell the 245 for $1.98. It fluctuates between $1.95 and $1.98 if you are bullish on BA like I am. And this will be a lot less stressful to you than buying the calls. Now, if you want unlimited profit potential, right? Because this spread will cap out at a $5 max value. But if you want unlimited profit potential, then yeah, buy the calls. Buy the 250 calls or the 255 calls or the 260 calls. If you want to be a little riskier, obviously those are subject to time decay. Time decay is on your side when you're trading spreads, and the cost basis is on your side when you're trading spreads. But if you want unlimited profit potential, then just buy the calls. Anyway, long-winded way of saying there's your BA play, okay? I really like BA here. Z Butterfly, thank you, no politics. Yeah, I said that a while ago, though. Anna, please stop spamming. Please. That's, I'm assuming that you're a real person. You could be a bot. You got to take over market open live streams, bro. Gene mentioned this yesterday to me. Doing market open live streams every day will literally take your channel to an entirely different level. We appreciate this. Gene says, okay. I don't mind doing that, but dude, like I spend most mornings in the Discord group trading, right? And for whatever it's worth, I do think that provides value to our community, right? To our private trading group. But I just got to figure out logistics, right? Like I want to, for sure, like I don't want to forego my responsibilities to our community because, we worked very hard building that community and I respect the hell out of each and every one of you. But I also want to provide value to the larger community, right? Because not everybody's on our private trading group. So I want to provide value to the larger YouTube community, but I would have to limit it, man. Like I can't do these 8-hour live streams or whatever. Like I would have to limit it to an hour, maybe hour and a half max if I'm feeling freaky that morning. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, guys. I definitely hold on. Wait. Female trader here, proud of it and love your channel. Appreciate you, Christy. Appreciate you. Thanks for the thorough analysis, Z. I'm getting that spread. Damn, I need to take the options course. You're a beast. No worries, Regine. Yeah, I mean that's some live analysis right there. But thank you for pointing out BA. So BA, Roblox, those two plays I will be sending in the Discord. So don't worry about that for you Discord members who are panicking and missed it. I will be sending that out in the Discord, and I definitely will be opening those plays. I mean, those two plays are hard to pass up right now. Hard to pass up. Sotero says, what about a leap on BA? Yeah, again, I mean, if you can stomach the delta moves, right? Because a leap, you're going to be going really high on delta, 0.8, 0.7 maybe, or above. Yeah, man. If you can stomach those big delta moves, because delta moves on the way down too. It's not just the way up. If you could stomach that, then definitely, yeah. Taking over Meet Kevin since he quit. Yeah, again, if I can isolate it to an hour, hour and a half, maybe. Because, again, I don't want to abandon my responsibilities to the group. So, MU earnings. Okay, I will do an MU earnings play since two people asked about it. And then I will, I gotta bounce, actually, because I got to be somewhere. Physically, I got to be somewhere in half an hour. So, when is Micron reporting earnings? Let's see, MU. When is Micron reporting earnings? Analyze earnings. June 30th. Guys, come on, man. You know I'm not going to open up an earnings play right now. Ask me when it gets closer to June 30th. I mean, the Kroger spread that we gained over 1,000% on, we opened a day before earnings. The Adobe spread that we made almost 500% on, we opened a day before earnings. Don't come in with an earnings play that's on June 30th. It's June 18th. God damn it. Ask me next week or the week after. Anyway, traders, I appreciate each and every one of you. I love each and every one of you. Thank you guys for joining. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'm so bad at saying this. I should be saying this at the beginning of every video. But guys, leave a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Get active, right? Let's get that engagement up. As I said, I will be doing a giveaway that I will be announcing on Instagram and on Twitter, trying to get both of those followings to at least 10K. We'll be giving away a gold bar for those. But I will do an official announcement, right? So that you guys know what the rules are. What else? Oh, yeah. If you want to learn how to trade options and take advantage of all our plays that I do post in the Discord, I don't just talk about them on YouTube. Sign up to the options course. You'll see a link in the description. It's a great value. Other than that, yeah, guys, thank you so much. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Love you. Peace.